the productivity miracle that they're talking about makes it worse by centralizing faster.
It's a very interesting perspective. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on, and I heard you speak about it a little bit with Preston recently as well too, the impact of AI, large language models. I can almost see them being used as a system of control, but I can also see it being used as a accelerator for the chaos and bringing people to the new space as well too. So, for example, if AI ends up threatening white collar jobs, people that may have benefited from the existing system and are no longer benefiting from the existing system, while that would cause chaos, that pain point might be enough for them to reevaluate the mental models that they're using and take a deeper look.
Well, so you have people that with far more reach than I do, perpetuating a lie, whether they believe it or not, that we're going to have this productivity miracle that is going to solve the problem. The productivity miracle that they're talking about in a world with hard money is faster deflation. Faster deflation can't solve a monetary system that's built that requires inflation. So there is no productivity miracle that solves this. The productivity miracle that they're talking about makes it worse by centralizing faster. And all of the people that are measuring from that centralized faster and listening to Elon Musk spout this, or other people spout this, the productivity miracle, don't know that they're contributing to the thing they're most scared of, because the job is going away.
Yeah.
And they're inside a system that when the job goes away, the prices are way higher because we've manipulated money and centralized. So they're inside a system that they're requiring, when I said agency, moving to another system, they're requiring their entire agency is tied to somebody else's beliefs. Their entire thing is somebody else controls me because they control the money. And it has to steal that productivity miracle that should flow to all of us,
yep,
and concentrate it in very few hands. So they're going to get wrecked. They're going to get destroyed. They're going to get destroyed. And while they get destroyed and wrecked from that system, they'll believe more in the centralizing of that system, and it's other people's fault.
It's almost like a turn to the strong man thing. Things are getting harder, so they look for somebody else to deal with it.
Totally. And that's why this is so hard, because it's their own agency. It's everyone's own agency, and understanding first, is it true that the natural state of the free market is deflation? And first, you should go deeply on that. And if that is true, then economics can be explained to a 5-year-old. Add more people in competition to provide value to you. You use more value, and prices fall faster. That's it. That's all of economics. Meaning every construct that they've known of economics and why they're scared to ask that simple question is from the control system they've always been a part of, and they're really afraid to question the basic assumption that they've always known be true.
Gary, did you have any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Jeff, it's wonderful to have you here. I've listened to so many of your podcasts, and it's a breath of fresh air. It's inspiring. I recently read your book, and by read, I mean listen to, and by your book, I mean 3/5 of your book. And I didn't get all the way through. But I think a lot of our listeners sort of already get the idea. And when presented, I think a lot of us intuitively get it, that the natural state of mankind is deflationary. We use words like inflation and deflation sort of as a substitute for price go up, price go down. But if you don't mind, could you sort of just give like a brief 3 to 5 minute condensed thesis of what you're presenting, of why the natural state is deflationary, or why the natural state is price go down, and why that fundamentally conflicts with our current system of a debt-based economy?
Okay. So the free market rewards value, right? Value creation. And you just think about the things you purchase. The thing that we're using Riverside app right now. We're using Riverside app because it gives you more value to touch more people. And it costs a fraction of what apps used to based on this. That path is you're constantly searching for more value in your life. Whether you know it or not, you're constantly, and you actually don't normally know it. That's why you get caught. No, the monopoly will always be the monopoly. We can never change this. This scarcity exists in the world because of the belief that something will always look that way. And for all of time, we've always been caught in the same belief, thinking that any human in any epoch, I bet you every human thought we know 98% of the information to be known. Right?
Yep. Yep.
And then what happens? That scarcity and the margin created from that scarcity causes our brains to say, how do we solve that? Or an entrepreneur's brain to say, how do we solve that? So there's a whole bunch of people caught in a perceived reality that they know is true. And then an entrepreneur says, I'm going to challenge that perceived reality with something totally different to give more value. And so we don't see something coming. We think it's always going to look the same. And then an entrepreneur creates that more value and we immediately move because it created more value for us. And the output of what I just described is our action within a system. The entrepreneur couldn't be successful unless they provided more value. And so, and unless price go down or way more value, then they wouldn't be successful because we wouldn't use it. We would ignore it. It would fail in the free market. So their action and our action have to be deflation. And then from that world, there can't be a monopoly, Phil, because the monopoly creates pricing that goes up. It creates more competition to be able to break the monopoly. So the only reason a way of monopoly could exist is through regulation that stops the free market, which is why you have banking monopolies, which is why you have food monopolies, which is why you have drug monopolies, why every monopoly favors regulation, because and why you have political monopolies, right? Why you have laws changing to support the monopolies. Right, it's because it's not a free market. It never has been, right? And so in that model, prices fall to the marginal cost of production. And because when there's even a penny of profit, entrepreneurs attack to try to remove that profit because you get paid for providing value to society. It's really simple. So then what stops that? Right? So if that's the natural state of us competing, of us trading with each other all over the world, why doesn't it look like that? And now we get into your other part of the question, which is a credit-based system where where a bank doesn't have the money, they lend it into existence. So you pay an interest rate forever on money that didn't exist before. It was just made up in a ledger entry. And so somebody's winning by that equation and somebody's losing. And then that system, but once you've set up a credit-based system like that, where the money is credit that's loaned into existence, that system can't allow deflation. So it cannot allow the free market to work. And not only can it not, it's an appearance of the free market when it starts, and that credit-based system isn't as big. But as it steals more and more to stop the free market from working, because it can't allow deflation. It can't allow deflation specifically because in deflation, the credit explodes in value. Right? It explodes in price because the amount that you have to pay back for the debt that's in the system is less and less and less. So it can't allow that. And that whole system would collapse to the ground if you allowed deflation. So when we hear deflation is bad, we hear deflation is bad from a credit-based system that can't allow deflation. And so you have entire journals of economic thought and nonsense, complete nonsense, that won't look at the natural state of the free market because there's a belief based on a credit-based system, and which is true actually from a credit-based system, that deflation is bad. So they don't even start with is the free market, because if deflation is bad, the free market's bad. And so all of this belief stems from a credit-based system that we live in and are part of, and everything we're measuring in that system must steal more of the productivity and must concentrate it up. and steal by manipulating money, because that credit has to grow exponentially as the free market moves exponentially the other way. It has to capture and centralize more.
Imagine mining Bitcoin cheaper than buying on an exchange, with direct payouts hitting your wallet like clockwork. SAS Mining makes it real. You own the rig, no gimmicks. It's your asset pumping out Bitcoin every single day. No markup on hardware or electricity. They get paid when you get paid, fully aligning incentives. Mining Bitcoin below exchange cost is a great way to DCA your stack. It's so simple, anyone can do it. No tech skills required. You get white glove support and education, a rig performance guarantee, plus it's powered by 100% carbon-free energy prioritizing renewables. Ready to take control of your Bitcoin future? Visit sasmining.com by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in the description down below to book a free consult and start mining today.
If you enjoyed this clip of Jeff Booth from the Mentor Sessions podcast, check out the full episode by clicking the link on the screen or down below in the description.